Hello friends, welcome to my Princess Diana channel. Before moving on to the video, if you are not subscribed to my channel, do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so let's move on to the video. Prince Harry, a leader of African Parks, a conservation organization, has been accused of involvement due to appalling abuses against indigenous people in the Congo and the Baka community. According to the presented reports, rangers who receive funding from African Parks, where Prince Harry has been a member of the board of directors, have practiced torture and rape during their patrol in the OUTRAGE National Park, the Republic of Congo. For years, the organization has been aware of the situation but has done nothing to stop the ongoing crimes. In his speech, a Baka man has shared how African Parks made them suffer. Responding to these claims, African Parks has promised to review allegations regarding the rape and torture of indigenous people by its guards in the OUTRAGE National Park. Within the context of the increasing concerns regarding conservationists' mistreatment of indigenous communities and its severe effects on their rights and lives, this response has been made. Furthermore, these are the developments that raise fundamental ethical questions about conservation work and the protection of indigenous people's rights. This demonstrates the importance of accountability and that more must be done to correct abuses, as conservation work should be a cost for the communities most significantly impacted by it. The situation around Prince Harry in African Parks has highlighted the case of the Congo's Baka people. There have been numerous allegations of horrific abuse committed by rangers funded by African Parks at the OUTRAGE National Park, where Prince Harry is a member of the organization's board. African Parks has responded to these serious claims by commissioned an independent legal investigation. The organization already has a zero-tolerance policy for human rights abuses, as it has substantiated the alleged incidents while cross-referencing them against an existing grievance register and verified that their staff and operations follow comprehensive law enforcement standard operating procedures that have been in place since 2015. However, this has not prevented the attack by Survival International, as they claim they have communicated these incidents to African Parks since as far back as 2013. The organization argues that these abuses are the result of a systemic issue and further blame African Parks for not responding adequately, as they have spent years informing African Parks of the violent abuse of the Baka people by the park's rangers, with thousands of Baka victims who suffered at the hands of African Parks guards. As reported by The Independent, there are claims that the prince should consider stepping down from the charity in response to the things that are going on. In addition, the guards policed by African Parks have been accused of brutalizing and raping indigenous Baka people. Despite its activance in investigating the allegations and the prince's reported efforts to elevate the concerns in the organization, people are now demanding more to be done. The situation is an indication of a wider issue concerning conservation practices as well as the right of and interaction with indigenous people. These events highlight the need for transparency, accountability, and a reconsideration of conservation tactics to ensure the safety and dignity of vulnerable communities. The outcomes of the ongoing inquiry and the acknowledgement of both the African Parks and the overall community will be critical in addressing these pressing concerns and guiding future conservation strategies. If left without involving themselves in what it means to be, which are hunting, fishing, living the land, are left with nothing else but to fend for themselves. They are fighting with the rangers for their children and families' right to life and survival. These people have nothing. It is a horror part that human life is of no cost but a profit. It must stop, because God placed each people in this world, and every necessity needed for people to live from the rich or affluent Westerner countries to the less enoughly developed people of countries of the world. Tragedy, sad, horrible, and I think it's criminal, but it's man and his greed that have raped and plundered the Baka people and their resources and the elites using their might for evil. I just choose to believe that the day will come when all will be accountable to the world. All need to come up in such a way that the truth is told and the lies bared, and all come together listening to the words that come out from their mouth. So they lie again because the world listens to the tears for lying, for crying. Many mouths have the ability to lie to innocent people and leave them to take the consequence of that action. They really have to stop their mindless punishment on the world for only money and money alone. This is what Harry has to do if he ever wants to be received as redeemed and find a place in the good books of people's hearts and minds again. First is an immediate divorce from Meghan. Second, he should now have shared custody of those kids in case they are real and settle down with someone he loves and live a complete life. He should slowly become part of the individual's life to help people of Dhaka, then of the adopted country. That's what I should think it means. He goes on to make something meaningful of his life and lives a legacy. That would make his mother and children very proud if some people began to think differently about Camilla. Since then, some people will lose their minds about you. What about Bill Gates? He always used his money on such things. By eating their screen on the great man who is actually part of this human's crime against nature, which was likely to commit said crimes as a cover, perhaps the Africa Park project is such a screen. Bill Gates' actions also allow people to lose respect for his motives. On the other hand, if we talk about him as the greatest philanthropist, his part seems to deal with major problems under the global platform, and it looks like targeting a good attack means only to pay back the luxurious life. Make to think yourself about the original goal. Probably Bill Gates' actions make him disrespect the charity support of people. This makes people not appreciated in public. To give a bad name between them and raises many issues on what his humanity motives would be. Why does he support both of those grifters? He's really supposed to be ashamed of himself. Does anyone do something about it? And, in other words, William also has a lot to deal with as a family creature, which we could otherwise live with. That is quite possible. The royal family has always been tight with powerful people out, at least quite possibly. I am personally sure that William and Catherine are trustworthy. Ignorant or not, in knowledge or otherwise, they did not know what kind of situation the balance was. This is Harry and Meghan's whole making it look like actual humanity and a downright lie. How many others are ever so slightly involved in this, knowing very well what has been going on, and not doing anything about it? Do what you like, never mind the consequences. But yet again, Harry's vile behavior has fallen onto William's feet. They can't be held accountable all the time and only expected to make the reparation, a harrowing time that Harry has caused once again. And be the rest of it, they are responsible and should be subject to the punishment due for what they've done. Bring them to justice. Stop the blame game, that is so sad. This is for princes and principalities. But I can only hope, something has to be done for Baka. The history does not look good when it comes to resource appropriation, especially from Africa. God willing, hopefully very soon, you do not feel that way, that people around do not feel pain and loss because of whatever reasons. I think this is not giving enough emphasis by mainstream media, but still, it shows me that I may be right. Everybody knows that this is my whole point. But, as I said before, these human lives are not anybody's priority. Too much money to be made. Keep the light on this matter. Maybe someday, some powerful one will take notice. Something will grow a conscience. That's it for our video, my friends. I hope you have liked it. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, and like the video. If you haven't done so yet, if you want to be first to be informed about my content, please subscribe to the channel and make sure you turn on notifications. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of yourself and stay healthy. I'll see you in the next one.